The nuts are 6mm Allen cap screws, and there's a specific sequence for loosening them. You'll need a service manual to know for sure, but I can give it to you in the brief. Okay, so we have, looking at my mom, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 below it, 8, and then down to 9, 10, 11, 12. And do it in that order and a half a turn at a time until all are loose, and then run them off the rods, and then we'll wiggle woggle the head loose. Holy shit, ladies and gentlemen, holy shit, that took a little while longer than expected. These are what the nuts look like, and they are 6mm, what have you there. I am using, this is a Stanley set, 3/8 drive. I bought these at Walmart years ago. It's only $8 for the set of the metrics, and has every size you'll need for your bike. Also got long ball end ones, but one number 9 nut rounded out on me and stripped. And I was trying a whole bunch of different tools. Ultimately, I dismantled one of my ball ends, just give me some hex stock. And I was able to, because it was longer, this has a taper to it, so it couldn't go in as deep. These ones were longer, and I was able to hammer it way in there and find some decent hex on it still. But there was a ball end on it, and I couldn't even get a socket over there, so that broke off right away. But then I was able to put a regular socket on there, like this. And then I needed to have somebody help me. My dad came out and held the motor. And then with the 3/8 drive, plus pipe, him holding it, me holding it, it cracked loose, and thank God it came off, because otherwise I'd have to drill that shit out. That would have been a pain in the ass. So always be very careful of these things rounding out. And so I gotta buy 2 new ones, I think. Another one's kind of chewed up. The others came out real easy. Just 2 gave an issue to it. So bolts are out. I'm gonna put the cams back on and finger tight that thing, just a couple threads to hold the buckets in place. I had to grab a magnet for something else. I was just going to show you how easy this is with a magnet. It just comes right off, and much easier to go back on with a magnet. So now you'll take your dead blow, rubber hammer, whatever, and give it a couple whacks. I left my mounting bolts in, but a couple whacks on each side. I already did this, and that'll break the head gasket loose. And then you can lift the head off, but I'm going to bolt the cams on first. Chain in there, and then I'm going to lift the head off and put it back on the tripod, and you can see me lift like that. Alright, chain guide, get that out of the way. I'll get this out of the way, and move that off tripod for you in a second. Alright, there is the pistons. See, it was at the top, as we expected. Chain guide stays that half still. And there you go, here is the head. Here are the valves. And as to be expected on a 40,000 mile motor, pretty black. I'll clean it up a little, I suppose. Got to be careful you don't use something that's caustic. It'll eat aluminum. Your safest probably even just trying to clean it with diesel, kerosene, gasoline, something that you know would go, that could go in there and burn anyways, you know would be safe to clean it with. Somebody not too long ago dipped their pistons in something, not reading that it was bad for aluminum, and they had to buy 4 new pistons. There would be where the plug would stick through. And there you go, 4 valves per cylinder, 16 valve, double overhead cam. See, I put these back in here, but they're just finger tight. Not binding anything, just keeping everything together. And this guide can come out, or you can leave it, what have you. I'm gonna bag this up, wrap it in plastic rather, and then put it under the workbench for storage. But you can see I left the, move this out of the way. Here we go. I left the thermostatic valve. Excuse me. Having a hard time. The thermostat housing's in there, plus the pyrometer and the fan on-off switch is this thing here. Pyrometer is this thing here. It sends a signal to the temperature gauge to display, and I just left the hose on. Certainly could take it off, be less in the way, whatever, but might end up doing it. We'll see how it sits on the table. But for now, I'm just gonna bag it and get it out of the way, and then we'll take the cylinders off and I'll record that, and they should just slide off from this point. A couple taps with the hammer and they should come off. I need to disconnect these hard water pipes from the water pump, and I'm gonna undo it just at this union here and at the bottom union there. I'm gonna leave this rail on. It looks like it should just stay with the jugs. Again, I could take it off. I'm just gonna try it without it, and then I'll make this assembly a lot lighter, easier to work with, and I'll pull off the clutch and all that stuff, get it prepped for splitting cases.